You know, if there's one thing that makes Americans sit up and take notice, it's when gas prices and energy costs go up. Critics of President Biden's plan to remake America's energy portfolio say open your wallets and get ready to pay even more. This aggressive energy policy targets fossil fuels with the goal of making America 100% carbon pollution free over the next 15 years. It includes plans for more windmills, billions to build new energy efficient housing, and a national network of charging stations to encourage more Americans to buy electric vehicles.
We're going to reduce electric consumption and save hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in energy costs in the process.
But his critics don't buy it.
What the Biden plan would do would actually remake the entire United States in the image of California or Europe. And for those that don't live in those areas, well, here's what it looks like. In California, thanks to the renewable energy mandates and other regulations that are in place, Californians often pay up to twice as much to heat their homes, to cool their homes, and to fill up their vehicles. And we see this playing out across Europe as well.
Add to that cities like San Francisco, Denver, and New York proposing or passing measures banning the use of fossil fuel in new homes and buildings. In response, a number of states are outlawing bans over fear they would drive up energy bills, require expensive appliance conversions, and leave Americans without any alternative during major outages, like we saw in Texas last winter. While seen as an energy savior, electric vehicles remain more expensive than their gas-drinking cousins and have been slow to take off in the U.S.
The future of the auto industry is electric. There's no turning back.
Along with more charging stations, Biden wants taxpayers to spend $174 billion on incentives for people to buy electric, like Ford's new F-150 Lightning.
This sucker's quick.
But these landmark proposals could make America even more dependent on China. In 2019, the communist regime provided the U.S. with 80% of its rare earth imports, elements needed to manufacture batteries, wind turbines, and solar panels. In fact, of the 35 minerals deemed critical by the Departments of Defense and Interior, China is the top global supplier for 23.
Of course, we have a regulatory structure that makes it very difficult sometimes for companies to actually access those materials. That is a very real concern, and political leaders in both parties should be working to ensure that we can access those minerals that we have been blessed with.
In testimony to Congress, Simon Moores with Benchmark Mineral Intelligence likened global battery supply to an arms race. What Western economies are only beginning to recognize, he tweets, is that in the electric vehicle and battery supply chain, they are the developing nation and China is the developed nation. Today, China boasts 107 battery factories with 53 actively producing. The U.S. has 9. And just 3 are active. Biden has reversed many of President Trump's energy decisions, like canceling the Keystone Pipeline, rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, and most recently, tried suspending oil leases in Alaska's Arctic refuge, something Alaska Senator Dan Sullivan called a naked political move by the Biden administration to pay off its extreme environmental allies. Now Biden must follow Trump's lead in trying to strengthen energy supply chains here at home.
We got to take over the world market. That's what this is about, being the best in the world and be exporting.
He's directed the Energy Department to light a fire on battery research, manufacturing, and processing.
This is going to include new rules to ensure that companies that develop new products based on federal R&D funding manufacture those products in the U.S. So what is invented in America can be made in America by America's workers.
But as the president works to boost new energy sources, many Americans are focused on sustaining what they use today, an issue amplified when the Colonial Pipeline hack left 5 southern states with empty gas stations and long lines. A poll by the Convention of States and Trafalgar Group finds 80% of Republicans, 45% of Democrats, and 57% of independent voters say pipelines are an important part of American infrastructure. And the Pew Research Center finds nearly 2/3 of adults prefer a mix of energy sources that includes oil, natural gas, and renewables. Transforming the way Americans think about, use, and interact with energy sources is one of the many heavy lifts Biden is attempting during his first year.
This is a case where conscience and convenience cross paths, where dealing with this existential threat to the planet and increasing our economic growth and prosperity are one and the same.
But he faces many hurdles and critics who predict his plans will hit homeowners and businesses where it hurts, in their pockets. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.